In a sense, creativity and curiosity are connected. And I think curiosity comes first, and then sometimes creativity comes after, and that helps you propel yourself through projects and finding new answers to things and exploring. But creativity is just being resourceful also, and it's using the things that you have at hand, and it's also looking at things from different perspectives. And it's, for example, for the people in Chernobyl, creativity is a means for survival. And for me, it's a means for self-expression. So creativity can be a variety of different things to different people.
I think that how I see this is you getting at what appear to be perpetual and unsolvable problems. How do you actually identify ways through them so that you actually create value out of a burden? A lot of what we're dealing with in environmental law that has any value whatsoever is taking a distress situation, a burdened situation, something of a legacy like what Jim has documented in Chernobyl, and find a way to transform it into something that was unexpected. So it's a creativity in the sense of you discover value within a whole complex of issues that seem to be nothing but a burden, a dead end, or a sacrifice zone. So we're moved toward taking a range of tools to understand what this burden actually is and take it apart to identify where the way forward in creating value, quality of life, and hopeful future.
Well, obviously the camera is a tool to record and document situations, but the camera can also be a vehicle to communicate something bigger than just a photograph, but real thoughts and emotions and concerns to a broader audience where it can have some kind of an effect, and it can impact people on either being aware of something or taking action, or being activated is important. But in a project like Chernobyl, a camera is used for a lot of different things. I mean, it's used as a device to communicate ideas for advertising and concepts and things such as this, but it can also be a tool to activate and to educate and to expose people to things that they would never have an opportunity to see, including myself.
What Jim has done going to Chernobyl is bringing what is most important in terms of recognition of real people and real values and real community, and communicating that to a broader community. It is not a passive gazing or contemplation. It is an active transformation. What he looks at is not simply an aesthetic. It is, here are real lives in real situations, and how do I connect this with a broader world?
The catalyst of this whole project, one of the catalysts, I should say, is the voice that I found written on that letter. And it was the person, the anonymous author of this letter that I happened to find, or a poem, or what we call it, an elegy. And this was one person's voice who was, that evening of the meltdown, left a note as though it was a message in a bottle to be discovered by myself and now sharing with everyone this evening. But that's a voice that is insignificant as it may seem. It's such a powerful concept to think of just one person on their way out of their house that they raised their family in and their life and their history. Their little plea for, one day I want to return back home, my Chernobyl. And a mouse of a voice. And now we can all listen to this voice tonight. And I really wish this person, whoever that person may be, could see the people gathering tonight and recognize the fact that her voice is being heard tonight.
I'd say there are a couple of ways of getting at that in terms of incorporating many voices. I think one of the things that is a lesson in the Chernobyl disaster is a deliberate, organized attempt by a government to keep voices out. A total and complete disregard of real people, their voices and their concerns. and a disconcern about informing them, lying to them, telling them a range of situations were safe, which promoted cascades of further damage. So there's a way in which disconnecting people with language and allowing them to suffer and not have a voice is part of the story here. If you contrast it in part with what happened 25 years later in Fukushima, which happened just about a year ago, with a nuclear disaster, where you're in a society where there actually is an ability for people to express and to be informed, it was a very different reality in terms of what happened to the populace. They have a voice and they can participate. I think part of what this project on Chernobyl does is it shows what this legacy is, what the real problems are, the fact it's not just a point in time, it reaches into our present, reaches into the reality we live in, and makes us rethink about what are we doing in terms of the economy and the energy that we need to drive the economy, and what a real economy actually is, and not just a bottom line for a series of companies. It has to do with the bottom line of human value and human voices in human society.